Sometimes the brightest stars fall at the most unexpected moments. A routine operation, a procedure meant to heal, can turn into the moment everything changes.
I don't know what, she's crying, and she said, I don't know what to tell you, your mother stopped breathing. I don't know what to tell you, we're on our way to the hospital.
In the world of film, where legends are born and icons live forever on screen, the reality behind the curtain can be far more fragile. Some went in with hope. Others were fighting battles we never saw. But each of them shared one haunting truth. They never made it out of surgery. Brace yourself as we look back at 15 famous actors who died during surgery. Lucille Ball spent her life making the world laugh, but her final days unfolded with a gravity few ever knew. In April 1989, the 77-year-old icon was at home in Beverly Hills when she felt a piercing, unfamiliar pain, the first sign of a ruptured aorta. Her husband, Gary Morton, rushed her to Cedars-Sinai, where doctors performed a grueling 7-hour open-heart surgery. For a moment, it seemed Lucy might beat the odds. She was awake, talking, even walking the halls as fans flooded the hospital with thousands of messages. Cedars-Sinai had never seen an outpouring like it. But a quiet, devastating turn waited ahead. Just 1 week after surgery, a second rupture struck, this time in her abdomen, and it was fatal. The news stunned a world that had grown up with her. The housewife who burned dinner, stomped grapes, and turned everyday chaos into timeless comedy. 3 memorials in 3 cities drew crowds that stretched around blocks. Even in death, her legacy felt larger than television itself. As one fan whispered outside the service, "I'm here for Lucy," and in truth, generations still are. The laughter she sparked hasn't dimmed, not even for a moment. Bill Paxton never played heroes who felt untouchable, and that's what made audiences love him. He brought humanity to every role, from Private Hudson shouting "Game over" in Aliens.
We're some real pretty shit now, man!
You finished?
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
To the storm-chasing daredevil of Twister and the treasure hunter guiding viewers through Titanic. Off-screen, he was the same mix of warmth and grit. A Texas kid who grew up building sets with his friends, hustling through Hollywood garages and night crews before James Cameron took a chance on him. That loyalty turned into a decades-long creative partnership spanning The Terminator, True Lies, Titanic, and more. By 2017, Paxton had shifted effortlessly between blockbusters, indie dramas, and acclaimed TV, earning Emmy and Golden Globe nominations for Big Love and Hatfields and McCoys. But behind the steady career was a man who still felt like an underdog, someone who worked twice as hard because he never assumed he'd stay at the top. Then came the surgery. What should have been a path back to health instead led to complications, including a fatal stroke shortly afterward. Paxton was just 61. His loss rippled across the industry. Directors, co-stars, entire crews mourned not just an actor, but a presence, generous, funny, and unshakably human. His body of work endures, but so does that quiet sincerity he carried into every frame. Joan Ritter spent his last day doing what he loved, making people laugh on the set of 8 Simple Rules. But as the cameras rolled, something felt wrong. The 54-year-old actor, forever remembered as the affable Jack Tripper from Three's Company, suddenly grew pale and weak. Within minutes, he was rushed to a Burbank hospital, where doctors believed he was in the middle of a heart attack. His wife, Amy Yazbek, arrived to chaos. Medical staff preparing for an angiogram. Ritter frightened, but trying to stay composed. He asked for a second opinion. He never got the chance. "He's in the middle of a heart attack," the doctor insisted, pushing the procedure forward. Yazbek leaned close and whispered encouragement. Be brave. They know what they're doing. It was the last moment she had with him. As Ritter was wheeled through the doors, she mouthed, I love you. But the truth emerged too late. Ritter wasn't experiencing a heart attack at all. His aorta had torn, a catastrophic dissection that required a different emergency approach. Surgeons tried desperately to save him, but the damage was already irreversible. Hours later, Yazbek was told her husband was gone. His death left two families grieving, and children, including 5-year-old Stella, growing up with memories that stopped far too soon. Ritter's warmth, timing, and generosity lit up every room he entered, and on that September night, the world dimmed a little when he left it. Tony Randall built a career on precision. The crisp delivery, the arched eyebrow, the elegant wit that made Felix Unger unforgettable. But behind the fastidious persona was an actor whose reach stretched far beyond The Odd Couple. For more than 60 years, he moved easily between Broadway stages, Hollywood sets, and television studios, carrying with him a deep love for classical theater and a fierce appreciation for craft. Even as fans equated him with Felix, Randall saw the character differently, a man bubbling with anxiety and affection, a role he shaped but never let define him. In early 2004, Randall underwent coronary bypass surgery, a major procedure for anyone, especially at 84. At first, the recovery seemed manageable, but complications set in, pneumonia, quiet and relentless, and it weakened him faster than treatment could keep up. On May 17th, he died in his sleep at NYU Medical Center. Tributes came from every corner of the industry. Jack Klugman remembered him bursting into a dressing room shouting, "The machinery works," when he learned he'd become a father. Younger actors spoke of visiting sets just to watch him work. Randall had lived fully, as performer, founder of the National Actors Theater, husband, and father. And when the lights dimmed on Broadway in his honor, it felt exactly right. A final bow for a man who spent his life making the stage feel like home.
I'm so sorry to hear that, because I always like to think a really great-looking guy is stupid, you know? No, it cheers you up. Then they don't dance with you, who cares? He's dumb, you know?
That's right, he's dumb. Strong silence just means dumb.
Joan Rivers spent her life pushing boundaries, and even at 81 she was still working non-stop, performing, hosting Fashion Police, and sharpening the one-liners that made her a force in comedy for more than 5 decades. That's why her final moments felt so unreal. On September 4, 2014, she went in for what was considered a minor procedure, a routine endoscopy to check her vocal cords and ongoing reflux issues. She joked on stage just days before. She had shows booked afterward. Nothing about the day suggested danger. But as doctors sedated her with propofol, her oxygen levels began to drop. The room shifted from casual to critical in seconds. Rivers went into cardiac arrest, and by the time she was transported to a hospital, too much time had passed. The medical examiner later ruled that she suffered anoxic encephalopathy, irreversible brain damage caused by oxygen deprivation. It was labeled a complication of a medical procedure, the kind no one expects, but that changes everything.
I don't know what, she's crying, and she said, I don't know what to tell you, your mother stopped breathing. I don't know what to tell you, we're on our way to the hospital.
Her daughter, Melissa, was left to face both grief and headlines, all while honoring a mother who built her career on fearlessness. Joan had broken into late night when it was almost exclusively male, reinvented the red carpet, and turned raw honesty into an art form. Even now, comedians talk about her like a weather system, wild, loud, impossible to ignore. Her voice may have been under examination that day, but its echo hasn't faded. Jeanette MacDonald lived her entire life as if it were set to music. From the moment she toddled onto a Philadelphia stage at age 3 and stole the show, to the decades she spent enchanting audiences with that crystalline soprano. By the 1930s, she was Hollywood royalty. Her pairings with Maurice Chevalier and later Nelson Eddy turned operetta into a national craze, drawing crowds who believed the on-screen romances must surely be real. Off-screen, her heart belonged to actor Gene Raymond, and their 1937 wedding stopped traffic for blocks. But behind the glamour, MacDonald had been struggling with heart problems for years. In January 1965, complications grew too serious to ignore. She was admitted to a Houston hospital, preparing for surgery that doctors hoped would give her more time. 2 days later, her condition suddenly worsened. Before surgeons could operate, she suffered a fatal heart attack. She was just 61. Raymond was at her side when she died, a quiet ending for a woman whose career had been anything but. Her films still replay with that same unhurried charm. The apple blossoms drifting in Rosemarie, the playful elegance of The Merry Widow, the thunderous duet of Indian Love Call. Even now, those scenes feel untouched by time, a reminder of a voice that once lit up Broadway, Hollywood, and concert halls around the world. Eddie Fisher lived a life that swung between spotlight and scandal, his voice soaring through the 1950s as millions tuned in to hear one of the most celebrated tenors of his generation. Before he was known for tabloid headlines, Fisher was a teen idol with a string of top 40 hits and a television show built around his charm. Songs like Oh My Papa and Thinking of You made him a household name, the kind parents adored and teenagers swooned over. But fame pulled him into a different kind of drama. His marriage to Debbie Reynolds was once touted as America's favorite couple, producing 2 children, including a young Carrie Fisher, who would later become Princess Leia. Then came the scandal that defined an era. Fisher left Reynolds to marry Elizabeth Taylor after the death of her husband and his best friend, Mike Todd. For years, the public watched his romantic life as closely as his career. In 2010, Fisher faced a different battle. He underwent hip surgery in Berkeley, California, a common operation for someone in their 80s. But complications set in, and on September 22nd, he died at 82. His family called him one of the greatest voices of the century, a reminder that behind the headlines was an artist whose singing once shaped the sound of America. Lives built on talent, charisma, and unforgettable performances, gone in moments meant to save them. Their stories remind us just how unpredictable fate can be, even for those who seem larger than life. Which of these losses surprised you the most? And are there other actors whose stories you think the world should remember? If you found this video insightful, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us keep these stories alive and bring you even more deep dives into Hollywood's most shocking and tragic moments. Stay curious, stay aware, and thank you for watching.